gun was handcrafted to my specifications. I rarely draw it unless I mean to use it.
Have Gun, Will Travel. Starring Mr. John Daner as Paladin. San Francisco, 1875. The Carlton Hotel, headquarters of the man called Paladin.
Mr. Paladin! Mr. Paladin!
Over here, hey boy.
Oh, I did not know you would be standing at bar. Hey boy, think you'd be sitting at table with young lady.
The young lady hasn't arrived yet.
Very good. Gentleman wishes to speak with you on matter of urgent business.
Hey boy, I don't want to discuss any business tonight. My plans have been made for this evening, and they do not include any business discussion.
Oh, yes, sir. But since the young lady not yet arrived, perhaps you can spend a few moments with the gentleman. He give hey boy a very big tip.
You're a conniver, hey boy.
Conniver?
Never mind. Tell him to come over.
Oh, yes, sir. Thank you very much, Mr. Paladin. Conniver. Wonder what that means.
Mr. Paladin,
Yes.
the Chinese boy said you'd seen me. My name is Thomas McElrath.
How do you do, Mr. McElrath? Why don't we sit at the table over there?
Oh, of course.
Here, this all right for you?
Yes, fine, thank you.
Good.
Well, I've heard a great deal about you, Mr. Paladin. How you travel all over the...
Excuse me, Mr. McElrath, but since I have a previous engagement, perhaps you'd better get right to the point.
Oh, of course. I'm the vice president of Pacific Savings Bank. My company wishes to hire you to guard a special shipment of gold to Los Angeles.
How much gold?
Well, I cannot disclose the amount until you've consented to accept the job.
Oh, I understand. Well, how are you sending it?
By stage to the Berry and Wellman Bank in Los Angeles. What with the wildcat speculation in Comstock silver, the banks in Los Angeles have been affected drastically. So Mr. Berry has asked Mr. Hudson, the president of our bank, for a loan, and since Mr. Hudson is a very good friend of Mr. Wellman, who is in Europe at the present time, he has decided to make the loan to Mr. Berry as, more of a gesture to Mr. Wellman than anything else, so that the bank may endure the panic. Do I make myself clear?
Well, I understand that you're sending the money by stage, and you want me to go along to see that it gets to Mr. Berry safely.
Precisely. Would it be worth $500 to you?
Well, that sounds like a reasonable figure. When does the stage leave?
Tomorrow morning, 9 o'clock.
All right, Mr. McElrath, I accept your offer. I'll meet you at the stage office tomorrow morning.
I must warn you, Mr. Paladin. The shipment will consist of $50,000 in gold.
That's a lot of money.
And it could be a very dangerous trip.
They all are, Mr. McElrath.
Oh? And are they exciting, Mr. Paladin?
Not as exciting as spending an evening in San Francisco with an exotic young lady. Oh, if you'll excuse me, she just walked in. The next morning, Mr. McElrath met me at the stage office. He told me there had recently been many stage robberies in Southern California by the bandidos under Cleovado Martinez. The bank's plan in this all-important shipment of $50,000 was to put the money in a valise and hide it among the suitcases. The stage would go unguarded except for myself, posing as an unaware passenger, hoping that if we were stopped, Martinez would not notice the hidden valise. Traveling with me on the stage was a young lady named Laura Berry, who I learned was the daughter of the man I was to meet in Los Angeles.
Do you think we'll ever get there, Mr. Paladin?
It won't be too long now. We'll be in San Fernando in another hour.
Oh, I'm starved. I do hope the driver stops there long enough for some breakfast.
I think we can persuade him to do that.
Won't Father be surprised?
Yes. I'm sure he'll be pleased to have you home again.
Oh, he'll be furious at first. I can hear him now. To think that his daughter would leave college and come home on the stage alone, all the way from San Francisco. He won't be convinced when I tell him I was perfectly safe and there was a very nice gentleman traveling with me.
I haven't mentioned this to you, Miss Berry, but I have some business with your father, and I'll be seeing him when he arrives.
Wonderful. Then will you assure him that everything was all right?
Why, of course I will.
Besides, he really needs me. When he wrote how much trouble he was having at the bank and how difficult it was to keep the doors open, well, I just couldn't sit up there and spend his money for school expenses. He'll need that money. And he needs me to keep house for him and see that he gets 3 good meals a day.
You're a very considerate daughter.
I hope he thinks so.
What?
What's that?
Gunshot. Looks like we're going to have some trouble.
What do you mean?
There's some men riding toward us. There, see them?
Yes? Well, what did they do?
They're stopping the stage. Maybe Martinez.
Martinez, the outlaw?
Yes.
I've heard of him. Well, they may kill us.
Now, you try to be calm.
Well, is there anything you can do to stop them?
Against Martinez and his banditos? Not without endangering our lives, Mr. Barry.
You! Inside the coach! Come on!
Now, Miss Barry, you do exactly as they say.
Mr. Paladin.
Senorita, outside. Anímese.
Here. I'll give you a hand.
Ay, caballero, help the pretty señorita. Bueno, está bien. Walk over there. There, in front of the horses.
Come on.
Enough! Now keep your hands above your head. The men like to pull the trigger. Driver! Get the gold and throw it to the ground.
We don't have any gold this trip.
Now don't play games with Martinez.
I tell you, we're not carrying any gold.
Senor, it is in the valise among the baggages.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Martinez doesn't have much patience today, Senor Driver.
He shot the driver.
Keep quiet.
Hey, Senor, you.
Yes?
You get the gold for Martinez.
All right.
Gracias. And now you come down and stand by the señorita again.
I didn't know we were carrying gold.
I was supposed to deliver that money to your father's bank.
Oh, no. Well, listen, there's some way we can stop them.
The only thing we can do now is keep quiet.
We will take the horses from your stage. You will have no use for them since you'll be walking the rest of your trip. Start walking! El pueblo de San Fernando está 10 millas al otro lado de aquella loma.
What did he say?
The San Fernando's over that hill. 10 miles away.
Do you mean we'll have to walk 10 miles?
It looks that way, Miss Berry. Every precaution had been taken, but somehow Martinez had known that our stage was carrying the gold shipment. I had failed to stop him. My job would not be complete until I had retrieved the gold and delivered it to Mr. Barry's bank in Los Angeles. Meanwhile, we trudged the rough-surfaced wagon trail through the parched and desolate San Fernando Pass.
Mr. Paladin, I'm afraid I'm going to have to stop and rest again.
Oh, that's all right, Miss Berry.
How much further do we have to go?
I'd say another 5 miles.
Oh. Mr. Paladin, look.
What?
Coming around the bend by that rock.
Ah, the wagon.
Thank heavens. Maybe he'll take us into San Fernando.
All depends on who he is.
Well, if we gave him enough money...
Well, we'll see.
Howdy.
Hello.
What are you folks doing walking about this part of the country?
We were on this stage from San Francisco. Martinez held us up, killed the driver, took the horses.
Well, if it's Martinez, you're lucky to be alive.
Now, we need a ride into town, mister. How much would you charge to turn around and take us back?
Well, sir, I hadn't figured on going back. I got to get on into Bakersfield.
I'd be glad to make it worth your time.
Well,
Oh, you don't know how grateful we'd be.
I can understand that, ma'am. Well, you people look plumb tuckered out. Oh, come on. Get up in here in the back.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you very much. Come on.
Oh, I can't believe we won't be walking anymore.
Here, let me help you up. Here you go.
Well, you folks ready?
All set.
I'll take you on into San Fernando, and you can rent some horses there. Tell the sheriff what happened.
Yeah, that'll be fine.
All right. Yes.
Oh, my father will never forgive me for not telling him I was coming home.
Where do you live?
Oh, we have a ranch west of town about 2 miles below Cuenca Pass.
Your bank will be closed for the day by the time we get there. Your father will probably be at home.
He'll be furious with me.
I'm disappointed about the gold shipment.
Yes.
So, might as well settle back. It'll be quite a while before we get to your father's ranch.
Martinez,
Oh, Senor Berry.
what are you doing sprawled out in my front room?
Oh, waiting for you to come home from the bank. You grow very fine grapes, Senor.
Suppose someone rode by and stopped in to see me. Now, you agreed to stay in the barn.
Oh, the barn is very uncomfortable, Senor Berry. My man warns me if strangers approaches your house.
Did you get the money?
You think Martinez would be here without the gold? Look.
You're a rascal, Martinez. I knew I could depend on you. Tell me, was there any trouble?
Like taking milk from the kitty cat.
Yeah, I'll keep my promise. Half of this is yours.
I have already kept your promise. Half of the gold is with my men in Soledad Canyon, along with the horses we took from the States.
You have only one man with you.
I see. They only look for Martinez, not my men.
Then you two better get busy and make yourselves comfortable in the barn. You can hide out here for a month, just as we agreed, but you can't be loafing around inside my house.
Leonardo,
What?
2 riders coming to the house.
You see, what did I tell you?
Jose, go to the barn. Stay there.
See?
Martinez, take the money into that first bedroom down the hall. You can hide in there for the time being.
Laura and I rented 2 horses in San Fernando and rode on to her father's ranch. The closer we got, the faster we rode. I was caught up in Laura's anxiety to see her father and looked forward to a home-cooked meal and a good night's rest. Mr. Berry greeted us at the front door. He was at once surprised, pleased, and angry. We settled down in the parlor, and I thought at the time that he was edgy. Justifiably so, as we discussed what had happened earlier in the day.
And you say the Pacific Savings Bank hired you to go along with that shipment?
That's right.
Well, now, they didn't tell me about that.
I'll have to contact the sheriff tomorrow morning. I'll need his help to chase down Martinez and get that gold back to you, Mr. Berry.
Yes, of course. Now, Laura, you have to go back to school. I'm going to see that you're on the stage tomorrow morning.
Father, I won't let you do that. You need me here. Why, we can't afford to spend any more money for school until the bank gets through this crisis.
You let me worry about the bank and our financial trouble. You'll do what I say.
Well, I'm not going to argue with you any more tonight, Father. I'm too tired. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to change into some fresh clothes.
Laura.
Yes, Father.
Never mind. Stubborn as a mule. Her mother was the same way, traveling down here from San Francisco all alone.
You seem uneasy, Mr. Berry.
Well, why shouldn't I be? A daughter like that...
That's Laura. Martinez.
Oh, we meet again, senor.
Laura.
Don't shoot the gun. The ball would hit the senorita first.
You let her go.
Who is this man, Paladin?
Martinez.
How did he get in here?
Your face has lost its blood, Senor Berry. You think you see a ghost?
Turn my daughter loose, Martinez.
Why? She could not mean very much to you if you let her ride the stage I robbed for you.
Keep your mouth shut.
But I make a bargain with you. I turn her loose if you give me your half of the gold.
You let her go.
Out!
You stay back, Laura. Mr. Berry. Mr. Berry.
Did you kill him?
Yes.
Paladin, half the gold is in this room. Tell the sheriff the other half is in Soledad Canyon with Martinez men. There's one man out back in the barn. Try to make Laura understand. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Laura. Laura. Money can do evil things to men. If your father had lived, the suffering would have been much worse than it will be now. Good morning, Miss Wong.
Welcome home.
Thank you.
Did Hillboy not come up with you?
No, he had an errand to do for the desk clerk.
Oh, I waited in your room for him. I was looking out window when you arrived a few minutes ago. I see Hillboy taking your suitcases.
Oh, yes, there is a good view of the front porch from here, isn't there?
Oh, yes, sir. Very interesting. I also see Hillboy give wave of hand to a lovely tiny girl who walks by.
Oh, now, Miss Wong. You wouldn't be jealous of Hey Boy, would you?
Oh, maybe. But a tiny bit.
Oh, that's bad.
Oh. Perhaps Miss Wong should not let him know?
Now, that's a very good thought.
Oh. You will not tell him, Mr. Paladin?
No.
Oh.
No. It'll be our secret.
Oh, yes, our secret.
Have Gun, Will Travel. Created by Herb Meadow and Sam Rolfe, is produced and directed in Hollywood by Frank Parrott and stars John Daner as Paladin, with Ben Wright as Hayboy and Virginia Gregg as Miss Wong. Tonight's story was specially written for Have Gun, Will Travel by Mr. Parrott. Featured in the cast were Vic Perrin, Don Diamond, Jack Edwards, Joe Cranston, and Eleanor Berry. This is Hugh Douglas, inviting you to join us again next week when CBS Radio presents Have Gun, Will Travel.